Hello everyone, welcome to SkillzVault. I'm Testri and I am your SkillzVault's host. Hello everyone once again. So today it is the last chance for you to qualify. Today we are playing the last qualification to the main event when you can play together with the stars. I hope you are ready to watch some PUBG Mobile matches and you are more than ready to play. Guys, 4 weeks before we said, oh, it is just the beginning. We are just starting. It was very slowly, but now, today, it is like now or never, my friends. Now or never. Last chance for Korean players to qualify to the finals, to the main event. And I'm sure you mostly know what we are doing here, what SkillzVault is, but as always, there are some new people around, and especially for them, explain our video. Hi there. SkillzVault is finally live. There is an opportunity to find new global esports stars who did not have a chance to show themselves so far or who are simply hiding their presence from the world. Now it is a chance for them to be on everyone's lips. Perhaps this is what we are waiting for. Perhaps it is you who will meet your idol and try to become the best duo partner in global competition between countries. Of which countries we are talking about?
There are 5 countries participating in SkillzVault. Korea. Registration starts on the 9th of August. The finals, in the other hand, will start on the 18th of September. Japan. Registration for this country will start on the 30th of August, and the final part will start on the 10th of October. Vietnam. The qualifiers will start on the 9th of September. Final part will start on the 10th of October. China will start qualifying on the 27th of September, while the finals will take place on the 6th of November. Brazil, which you can sign up for from the 11th of October, while the finals will take place on November.
Both stars are for your disposal, but only if you try you'll be able to find out who you play better with in duo. Represent your country and fight for the SkillzVault champion title and for $6,000 in Bitcoin Vault per region. Will you be the best in your country individually? We will find out in the finals, but if you will win, you will get additional $5,000 in Bitcoin Vault. Don't wait, sign up now. Great international tournament. Korea, Brazil, China, Vietnam and Japan. We already have 3 players that qualified to the finals. My favorites are, of course, Porta and Jordan, and today we'll meet the last finalist. I hope he will be very, very good because the skill level is very high, especially I think in the last qualification. So all 4 of them will play with our stars in the finals, and this is first of our stars. It is Sadu TV and my interview with him. Hello, I'm Testri and you are watching SkillzVault. Today with me under a hail of questions will be Sadu TV from Korea. Now I will ask you a few questions, 6 to be exact. Please answer as honest as possible, okay? So the first question, please tell me, who are you going to be for SkillzVault?
아무래도 팀원들이랑 처음 맞추는 거니까 메인 오더 혹은 서브 오더로 팀을 이끄는 게 가장 좋을 것 같습니다. 혹시 팀에 오더가 있다면 뒤에서 지원해주는 포탑 역할도 나쁘지 않을 것 같고요.
Okay, thank you. So what do you think? Who are you going to face?
다들 아마 잘하시는 분일 거라 생각이 됩니다. 인플루언서 분들도 계시는 만큼 페어플레이 위주로 될 것 같아요.
Okay, so what are you going to focus on during each game?
팀원들이랑 놀다가도 교전할 땐 정말 집중해서 교전에 딱 몰입하는 편입니다.
Sadu, what is going to be your role in a team, huh?
SR과 장거리 배울 연사를 좋아하는 편이기 때문에 뒤에서 지원해주는 이 포탑 역할이 가장 자신 있습니다.
Oh, I keep my fingers crossed. So, who do you think should participate in the event?
우선 한국인들과 세계 각국의 인플루언서분들이 참여해 주시면 가장 좋을 듯 싶어요.
According to you, what is SkillzVault?
우선 처음으로 참가하는 글로벌 대회여서 그런지 긴장도 되긴 하지만 한편으론 한국을 대표해서 이런 큰 대회에 참가하는 것 자체가 영광인 것 같습니다. 좋은 자리에 초대해 주셔서 정말 감사합니다.
Okay, Sadu TV, thank you very much for the answers. I hope you will smash your opponents on the field. Thank you, and have a nice day. See you soon. It was Sado TV, and now it is time for 트위치와 Puku. Today with me is 트위치와 Puku. Hello.
네, 안녕하세요. 반갑습니다.
Okay, so I got a few questions for him so we can know him a little better. So you are streaming from around 8 years. You have your own studio. And the question is, would you change anything in your life right now, if you could?
저는 지금 현재 인생에 너무 만족을 하고 있기 때문에 이게 바꾸고 싶은 건 하나도 없고 좀 이대로 그냥 변하지 않고 지냈으면 좋겠습니다. 방송을 좀 꾸준하게 좀 하고 싶기 때문에. 네.
And how would you encourage young people to follow your footsteps?
일단 유튜브를 좀 하고 싶은 분들에게는 좀 조언을 해드릴 건 사실 본인의 좀 가장 컨텐츠를 좀 개발하는 게 좋지 않을까 생각을 합니다. 가장 좀 힘이 될 수 있는 하나의 큰 컨텐츠가 있으면 그걸로 인해서 또 성공하는 케이스가 굉장히 많기 때문에 본인만의 그런 매력을 또 보여줄 수 있는 컨텐츠 개발이 가장 필요할 것으로 생각이 됩니다.
Okay, thank you very much. We've got some tips for life. Well, now the question is, what are your tips for the players participating in SkillzVault?
일단은 참가하는데 좀 이제 좋은 의미를 좀 가지고 즐거운 게임을 해서 좀 스킬볼즈에 대한 약간 분위기를 좀 만들면 가장 좋을 것 같고요. 함께 사실 최선을 다해서 이기던 지던 결과를 좀 따지기보다는 좀 이런 거에 좀 의미를 좀 크게 가졌으면 좋겠다는 마음이 좀 듭니다. 그리고 잘 준비한 만큼 잘 마무리했으면 좋겠습니다.
Of course, the atmosphere is very, very important according to skill and luck. And I wish you good luck on the field. Thank you very much. 트위치와 Puku was our guest. Thank you very much again, and see you on the field. Alrighty, so we already know our Korean stars, Sado TV and 트위치와 Puku, and we also know our not Korean casters. Hello, guys. Hello. Do you hear me? You are here. Hello, Professor Tarzan, and
yes,
as always, Sandstorm. Hello, guys.
Hello.
How are you today, Sandstorm?
Very excited. The last qualifier. I want to see who's going to be joining the likes of Sporta and Jordan in the finals, and really looking forward to what these guys are going to bring to the table in the end.
Tarzan, how are you today? Are you ready for the last qualifications?
Yeah, like feeling great. I almost thought I'm Korean when you asked for us. And to be fair, like that's a little bit of a funny story. Like people actually guessed that I could be Korean. I'm not.
Yes, you could.
unfortunately.
You already said that
be.
you have some Asian roots. Yes.
Yes. Oh, definitely. I'm not going to review that. Should I? It doesn't really matter. But I would love to try. More Korean culture. It's a great region, as we can see. The skills are showing there. So we want to have a really blasting, fourth day of qualifications.
Great region, great people. I would love to go there someday. I hope this will came true someday, but we are talking strictly about this tournament, Sandstorm. Today we are playing the last qualification in Korea. Will you miss this region?
Honestly, yeah, a little bit, because we've had in the second qualifier, we've had someone like Sporta who was very aggressive in how he was playing. When we came to the third qualifier as well, like we saw Jordan popping off, like both guys came up with 10 plus kills in their qualifiers in their games. So I want to see, like, is this the best region that we have so far, or since we're starting tomorrow with even more qualifiers for a different country, I want to try and compare both regions, compare both countries, and see at the end of the tournament who's actually the best.
And now we all see that our pointing system is actually great because we can compare it. Talking about these points, yeah? So, thank you so much, guys. I will come back to you in a moment. But for now, we need to talk about cryptocurrencies and NFT. And as you know already, because we are talking about this every single week, NFT is something like, it can be actually anything digital, graphic, music. Even I've heard about, reading the brain and turn it into like AI or something like this and selling it internet. But I found that a graphic was sold, digital graphic was sold for around $69 million. I was shocked. It is shocking, yes? Isn't it? It is. And if you want to know something more about NFT and cryptocurrencies, this guy will tell you everything.
NFT stands for non-fungible token. It means that it's one token which is unique. It represents the uniqueness. There's only one. With SkillzVault project, we are launching a series of NFTs related to games, influencers, and competitors that will represent certain figures, certain personas, as well as the teams. So stay tuned for NFT series related to SkillzVault.
So if you still want to know more, go visit our site www.skillzvault.gg or visit bitcoinvault.global, our official partner. We are doing this tournament together. Go there, read. Maybe you will buy your first NFT, maybe you will buy some crypto, maybe you will buy some Bitcoin Vault. Go there, check it out. But we are going to the main topic of today's tournament. So PUBG Mobile, what is it? It is emotions, skill, shooting, everyone on the map, and only one person can eat a chicken dinner. And we were talking with the casters about this power level system, which is very good for comparing countries like Japan, Korea, Brazil, China, and Vietnam. So this video should explain you everything about our power level system and actually tell you everything you are going to see in this channel. Hi there, SkillzVault is finally live. There's an opportunity to find new global esports stars who had not had a chance to show themselves so far or who are simply hiding their presence from the world. Now it is a chance for them to be on everyone's lips. If you are from Korea and your unfulfilled dream is to play alongside a star and become a professional esports player, there's only one way you can make it happen: SkillzVault. But how can you participate in it? It's very, very easy. You enter the specially prepared SkillzVault website, which you will find at the address skillzvault.gg. Then you will find the sign up tab. There you will be able to see the option to sign up for one of the 4 qualifying tournaments. Thanks to that, you will join the stars who are waiting for you in the match stage of the tournament. And which stars we are talking about?
Tuchiwa Puku is the first Korean player with whom you can create the best duo in your fight for the global SkillzVault champion. Sadu TV is the second Korean representative waiting for you. Remember to sign up as soon as possible.
Okay, so remember that there are 4 qualifying rounds. So even if you can't sign up for the first one, we'll accept you on the second with open arms. So if you are ready to become the best, it is worth knowing how and what you will fight for. In each country, the tournament was divided into 3 stages. The first is the qualifying phase, the second is the match phase, and the third is the final. Together with the stars, you will take part in 2 of them, gaining both individual points and those that will add up to the global SkillzVault ranking. If you are the best in your country, a big share of the $6,000 prize pool in Bitcoin Vault awaits you. But that's not all. If your country turns out to be the best among all participants, you will receive a whopping $5,000 in Bitcoin Vault prize and the SkillzVault champion title, as well as eternal respect and a chance to be noticed by headhunters looking for players. If this sounds like an opportunity to you, don't waste it. Sign up now. Hello, we are back in the studio and I will try to connect with the casters again. Guys, are you here? Probably you are waiting for the starts and the good information is like we are starting in 6 minutes from now, so I cannot wait actually. So when we are talking about the last qualifications, Tarzan, what do you think? What we can expect today?
I actually don't know what to expect, like, because I have my wishes. That's something that I can say, so I'm just going to say that I want to say I expect a lot of players, like more players, I would say, because they don't want to miss out. They've seen the level and they know that it's a decent stage to showcase their skills. It's not like everyone's so OP that they can't do something, but you can see people just coming back and they are getting rewarded for continuously attempting their qualification after qualification. So basically a stack lobby.
Okay, thank you. And Sandstorm, what are your wishes for today?
Honestly, I'm wishing for a complete bloodbath. I want to see someone break Sporta's record. So far, in the 2 games in the previous qualifiers, we've had the record of what I believe it was 14 kills by Sporta previously. He reached 1,220 points exactly. I want to see someone break that record because right now, yes, we have 2 people who are highly skilled that we got from the second and from the third qualifiers. So if we're going to get someone else from the 4th qualifier, I want them to be able to play on the same level. I want them to compete against Sporta and against Jordan and bring it in the finals as well.
You know, when I'm thinking about last qualification and this weird moment when there was only 2 people, it was Jordan and his opponent, and they wanted to, you know, fist fight or pan fight. I thought maybe the second player said, okay, this is not what I expected. I want more kills, I want more points, I want to go higher. So I will pass on that today, but in the next week, I will win. I will be better. It is good thinking. I think it was something like this.
Yeah, he could be like have some fun. I can see that he was thinking about it. I would do the same. I would think, should I do this? It's not just like a normal game, right? It's supposed to be SkillzVault like this. You get quite heavily rewarded for it. But for the reason for qualification, Jordan was, pretty much got it in the bag. Right, so might as well have some fun. But coming back this week, I would say is a no-brainer for that player. If you had the potential to make it to pretty late in the game, maybe you can repeat that again. And because Jordan and people like Sporta won't be in this, right? So you're going to have a lower level of competition only if stronger people don't come in.
Okay, so Sandstorm. You see the lobby right now? Because you said about 2 skilled players. I want to talk about them for a little now.
Yeah, so yeah, the 2 skilled players that we had were Jordan and Sporta. And when I'm looking at this lobby, I'm trying to see if we can find some similar names that we've had before. For example, Azume Gaming was there. In our second qualifier, we had 360 General as well that was present in the same tournament where Jordan qualified. and like even General had quite a decent performance. He had a couple of kills.
It's true.
Starting off his first game, and then he managed to get like second place or third place in the placements as well. So he managed to rack up a good amount of points. Maybe he'll come back in the fourth and final qualifier. And with the absence of Jordan, with the absence of Sporta, this might be the opportunity that he's been waiting for.
Azumi Gaming, I remember him because he had a bee suit skin, and I think it will be perfect when we will remember him from today's qualifications for a good play. Maybe that will happen. We will see. Thank you very much, guys. I'm leaving you. I'm going to watch the match. Have fun.
Come back.
But you know what,
All right,
man? I'm waiting for it. Like, I'm waiting for what I said to become true Sandstorm, because like I just want to see more, chaos, especially around hot drops. This classical map.
Oh, yeah.
I've been casting some PMCOs recently, like Erangel. That classical map is just getting so much importance as well, like just more than ever, because you've don't have other maps to leverage it like against as well. Miramar is also just one map. So today we have one Erangel and one Miramar, and the classical maps, gotta love them.
Oh yeah, and honestly, with the numbers that we've been getting, it kind of gives us some time to see how each person is playing individually and how each person, I guess, approaches the game, right? So, for example, you have a couple of players that like to roam around. They like to search every compound, search every area, see if they can find every single kill in the game. And then you have other people that decide to just, play with the zone. They see where it goes. They make an early rotation. They take a compound, and then they just wait. They try to at least guarantee some placement points, and then they try to, I guess, sugarcoat them with some kill points as well. We'll see. If someone else kind of surprises us with something today, maybe we'll see an incredible performance. Maybe we'll have a very slow game. Regardless, it is going to be a very, very exciting fourth and final qualifier here for Korea. Now, Tarzan, I kind of want to pick here. I kind of want to let's go with the prediction game. I know we don't even know how many players that we have participating, but pick a random number and we'll take the closest one to it so far. We'll pick the closest one, I guess, that we can find to your number, and then I'll pick one as well.
You're trying to toy with me now. Like I need to make
a little bit.
I had my wish. I talked about it. I prayed about it, and yet now you need me to make a prediction out of I don't know.
Very
Science.
much so.
I'm gonna go for 28.
28. All right, we'll see. I think the closest to 20 I got is 32, so that looks like your number. Wait a minute.
Really?
I see a couple of familiar names. We're going to be starting in just a few short moments, so don't worry. Yeah, so don't worry.
Okay.
We'll know exactly who's participating. We'll know exactly who's playing. But, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, the first game of the day starting on Erangel. We got a not so bad playing path. Heading from Milta over from Milta Power over Milta, we got Farm, and we have, I believe, Primorsk and Ferry Pier. They're going to be some of the closest locations, so we might be seeing people drop in those areas. Let's see. And yeah, so we already have a couple of names that we remember, as you can see.
Yeah,
I believe we even have Sporta. He's back, even though he's qualified. I believe Shiman OG as well was also someone that participated in the previous qualifier. So we got a few repeat players here, and honestly, I'm excited.
I don't know how it works though. Like, is Sporta allowed to come back and just destroy the lobby again? Like, I think he might be allowed to. I'm not sure at all. Like, now that he's back, like maybe it doesn't matter. Like, you can't. The second best score may go in, so like you just need to be matched when it comes to skill level, to say the least. But General X back here, and I love that because he played actually decently well and all started in Pachinki, and he's going back there once again.
Well, let's see how he plays it out this time around. He's not going to be the only person dropping in that area. I believe we're going to have a single player in Quarry, or a duo actually landing north of Quarry. And here we see him again, General. Now, in a place like Pachinki, you really do benefit quite... Okay, I'm not going to lie. I do like the fact that he dropped in Pachinki and the hat says Rozok.
Nice.
I actually don't know that's a thing. Like I haven't seen.
I
that
didn't know that's a
before.
thing either. That's why I was like, wait a minute, that's pretty cool. I like that.
Imagine that he hasn't got a name that we can pronounce. Then we need to say Rozok's in Pachinki, and that's the weirdest thing that I would have ever said on stream. You know, other than the usual, screw ups.
Mhm.
But that would be interesting. Well, I haven't seen that at all.
But now that I see something like that, it gets me to think: what if we had, right? What if we had football clubs for every map? Like you'd have Pachinki Pistons. I don't know, just something random like that.
Well,
like, imagine, and they actually give them like clothes and stuff in the game as well
Team
that you can
names.
wear.
You know what? I think team names should be brainstormed that way. Like that would be quite interesting. But of course, it would give us a lot of like puns and memes when it comes to broadcast.
Oh yeah.
Like if you drop there and you die and go like haha, like like that's extremely ironic or something like that. But I think it's a great idea. Like now that we're talking about crypto and whatnot, like we can. That's an NFT idea, like non-fungible tokens. Like if you're great in art, especially, and you tickle someone's senses, and they're like, I don't know why, but I feel like this is the next best thing. I love this graphic so much; it touches my soul, right? Then make something a Pachinki bulldog, right? Like, that would be pretty nice.
Oh yeah. So now you know what? Now all I can think of right now for the rest of this game. It's just names for the cities in Erangel at this point. So Milta Mobsters, I don't know, something. Like, I'm trying to get it to rhyme as well. I'm trying to get it to rhyme, just because like it comes off even better.
Rozok razors.
Zarky zombies. Okay, now
it's getting out of hand now. Like Pachinki peepees. We've got a lot of things. Okay, and let's just go for like Pepe, because that is also a little bit of meme.
Yeah,
people should make something out of that. Like when it comes to NFT, pretty sure it's been patented though. Like there's a patent on it. But Robber here needs to rob this away, like from Pachinki control, because we saw how General X been doing this quite well, and I'm actually surprised like how he's not playing more aggressive. Maybe he saw some movement early and just using that 3 stack on that southwestern side. Just look at the top right there, it's very faint like circle spinning around on the bottom there, but it's actually a great position to get control as long as he's comfortable with the level of loot, right? Because we talk about in pro play like, oh, whether that's a healthy amount of loot. Sometimes you can't really see it because we can't see utilities, but peeking there actually reveals his position. But General will be able to reposition after that. So other than showing where he actually is against Robber now on the church, it's going to be 67 dab, I'd say could be the name. 67 bad, I'd say. Now exposing his position, and Robber maybe can take him from a different angle.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. The second that Joe 6 exposed himself, Robber could potentially third party him or surprise him, but looks like that pistol shot might have just scared him off. He's slowly gonna try and walk up to the church, but not sure if that's gonna be the right call if there's a player on the roof.
Man, like he's taunting it. It's like, come fight me. Like most people would just stay stealthy, right? But it's not the easiest, because you can see the butt. The M16 is poking out from his butt via the wall. Like, welcome to PUBG, where glitches can happen, where bugs can be extremely funny, and you can see his M16 poking out. Like, that's actually so funny as well. Like, and pumps, shotguns.
Yeah,
I'd love to see some more.
That's what I'm hearing, right? He's baiting him out with the shotgun. He's just constantly shooting the air, trying to, I guess, get a rise out of him. But at this point, 777 dab or 666 dab might be in a little bit of trouble. He is actually going to surprise General and takes him down. That is going to be the first kill of the game. That is quite surprising. Honestly, I thought General would have been a little bit more careful walking up to this place. But now we are going to be waiting for Robber. The second that kill was secured, he can actually peek. He might be able to get himself his first kill of the game. Does decide to actually jump off the church. Beautiful kill over there as well for Robber with the UMP. 2 kills already. 6 minutes into this game, we are down to 14 players, but the first zone is going to start moving in about 15 seconds. So I don't think we touched on it a lot with regards to the zone, I guess, and its location compared to the path of the plane, but it does seem pretty focused on the western side of the map.
And I actually love what happened just then in Pachinki, right? We talked about the potential of General. We've seen his mechanics, like even in zigzagging, like gun skills. But like when the player 67 Bad was trying to bait or just open fire, like the way that he was positioning is to really punish whoever's too much of an what we call an players who go for an ego play, I would say. So General X, like, okay, you open fire, like I know you're there, let's just fight. But this is TPP, and you just get punished so hard on certain landscape. And you can see like the side of 67, he just like stood there, waited for it, lined up his shots like is like a landslide. Like he can't even see him. There's no chance to respond to that. And if there's anything, like he's baiting the side of General X into more than one player as well. But on the other side, Robert had his own plan, right? He first fired with the revolver, and then he fired with the pump, 1897, not 1897, like that might be the name. But I'm gonna go back and think about that pump, shotgun pump. So he fired with 2 weapons that seems to suck, in a certain range, especially in mid range.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Captain Han, is that you?
Well, that was him. If it is, that was Captain Han indeed.
Good attempt. Like I feel like he's just lagging a little bit. Like he's like, I'm gonna go for this run over. It would be quite nice on screen, but when you miss it and you just get stuck in your car seat, wear something else so that you didn't get stuck. Okay, I feel like he's like, I want to get out, but he kind of couldn't. And also just vehicles. Like to him right now, and it seems like some actions were happening as well. You can see 68, his vest is a little bit damaged, so he must have done some work or faced someone in this game so far.
Honestly, I think this is the only time in my life that I will say this. In this scenario, don't fasten your seatbelt when you're driving. When you're playing a game.
Wow.
When you're playing a game. See? Because like if they start shooting you and then you have to take off your seatbelt, but if you hit a tree and then next thing you know, your seatbelt is stuck and you're stuck, you can't move, and you're literally a sitting duck for them to shoot you. No, just don't wear your seatbelt, and also drive carefully when you're in the game, man. That's all. That's what you got to be careful of. And now we're finally seeing Sporta once more. He's showing up out of nowhere. He's on the hunt for some kills. He's already gonna try.
And I love the way that he plays.
Oh yeah. Like he does some damage. He instantly tries to use the high ground for himself. I'm not sure what KR is gonna try and do here. He does have the smoke, gives him some cover, but Sporta does have the high ground. Someone's been watching Star Wars.
But you know what? Like that is the reason why you need the vehicle, right? You go for the drops as well, where people usually just counter like that idea and come to camp whoever's like too greedy for the drop. Like you really need that vehicle. As you can see, like Sporta really has that type of movement that we see in pro play, like very smooth, and they're very aware of the limits of the ridge line from that cover, right? So it's going to be a little bit tricky, but having played so loud, Robert can come in. He's already spoiled one fight for being cheeky or just playing patient, right? So he can come in, and this can be a pretty interesting third party coming through.
Well, let's see, because this isn't like Sporta. We rarely see him, I guess, walk up to a kill, not instantly secure it, and then, I guess, move to a different location and just move and find another target. He's going to be setting his sights onto Robert this time. I'm loving the spray control and loving the tracking here as well by Sporta. Not able to secure the kill. Jumps into the buggy. I like that as well. You throw a smoke, you get in the buggy, you get a better perspective, you get a better point of view on what's going on around you. And now Sporta will be trying to escape. He does not want to finish this fight just yet. He wants to get himself in a better position to take control of this fight, but now he might actually take out KR during the rotation. KR is still driving for some reason, and where will be Robert on the flank? He was trying to steal the kill, but Sporta is the one that secures it. That's going to be another juicy 40 points, I believe. for Sporta for
yeah.
that kill?
30, right? Like 30 per kill, if my brain serves me correctly. And that would be Robert just continuously taunting the wrong player, I would say. Like the interesting thing about solo mode is that not only is it punishing, you can rely on the kill feed and the numbers of players alive so much. If you want to make it to top 10, if you've done your quick maths, you know that's exactly the number of teams on top left right there. But you also want to know who's fighting if you have some arch enemies, right? Like if you see those sprays and then Sporter is on your kill feed, he's probably in close proximity, and you probably need to run if you're not confident against this very good player.
That you do. And let's have a look at where the zone is going to be going. It did have a southern shift, so still Gatka going to be available, Primorsk, Ferry Pier, and Quarry. The points of view available for these players. We still have a little bit of the military base, so F Bayrak, I guess he could still chill on that island for a little bit, but then he would kind of be stuck in one of two scenarios. If he's lucky and he has a boat nearby, he could do a rotation and either go in Primorsk or go, I guess, to the western side of Primorsk, western side of Quarry, and then enter that way, or he can just cross the bridge and risk running into a bridge camper, which could cause him quite a lot of problems. Second zone, third zone, fourth zone in the game. You just don't want to be dealing with that damage. You don't want to be forced to use your stims early on in the game. You kind of want to keep holding on to them until the last few moments of the game. And see, I guess the more that you have to use later, the higher chance of you coming out on top. 11 players left in the game, Tor. Okay, 10 players left in the game, Tor. What was that from Sporta?
Excuse me. It's like he picked up every bit of footstep he needs, and he's just waiting and waiting, and just boom and gone. Like the tricky thing is the other player's response to it. It's like one was playing with headset, the other one wasn't. Like it's very hard to explain that. But Sporta once again just like surprise us. Like I don't think it's just pure skill. It's about like how they appear on screen. He just comes in and kills someone, and we didn't even expect that. But talking about this field, right? I like to be the very analytical like caster. That's kind of what I do like on stream anyway. Like on the pro scene, Gatka, I love it because it really forces some any players, not just teams, right? Like when to shoot. Like, it's so easy to just want to play loud and push everyone away, but then you didn't get your kills. So you need to really hold, have that trigger discipline and say, wait, I'm going to wait for you to come so close, or you're driving in a particular angle that I can line up my shots. I can track it a lot easier. So these would be the basic thinking that I believe they should have. And same for Sporta coming in here. Like, if the other player is just waiting for Sporta to clear building by building, I think he can actually take this king down.
Well, let's see if anyone will be able to take down Sporta this game, because the last two times he appeared, I guess the last two games he appeared in the SkillzVault South Korean qualifiers, he won both games. And I don't think it's going to change. He's going to be able to get himself a third kill. He has a level 3 vest, level 3 bag, level 3 helmet. He's got himself a Groza as well. So for those close range encounters, he can instantly shred through anyone's helmet, anyone's armor. It's just gonna be going
you can
up.
see. You can see that he's got some skills. I'll tell you what, like it took me some time to practice that little bit of drift when it comes to car, and I'll explain why. Like teams sometimes need to protect the vehicles, of course, right? Like for the next rotation. But sometimes you get into position and get into cover so quick that you don't have time to repark your car. And it would take you to, like first reverse and do all those turns before you can get out again. But if you can do a very good drift, you can place it in a very good direction so that when you arrive, you can stop immediately, but when you need to leave that compound, you're already having it face the way that you want. So even in the small things, you can see like Sporta has those mechanics in there. And it's so weird as well. Like when he came close to that main Gatka compound, the other player should have heard it and positioned himself accordingly, to that like western side threat, but just didn't do that at all. And not only that, like ironically, there's also a first aid place on the ground for Sporta, as in, okay, if it doesn't go well for you, buddy, you can have the first aid to take it back. Man, I was going to say that could be close. It's just so ready.
Yeah, Sporta once again showing us how it's done, coming out on top with 4 kills. so far, and he has 7 opponents left. The question is, could we possibly see a double-digit result from this first game of the day? Well, we'll find out. As right now we're following. Okay, I'm not even gonna attempt that name. BDMBO. Okay, I got nothing. Venya. I'm just gonna go with Venya.
Venya sounds pretty good. Like I was thinking,
Venya
should I go
seems
for
a little
Y
bit.
sound. If we have a Y sound, then I'll be like Vomi Venya. Okay, but I don't think that's.
Yeah, that could work.
Guys.
That could work.
Or just go with Venya. It would be a little bit less of a mouthful, but on this bridge control, which is extremely important compound, it actually is extremely tricky. Let's see who's got the better gun skill or the map knowledge.
Well, Robert is going to be on top. He was the one that was actually spotted. He was the one that was being tracked. He was forced down to half HP, but will throw down a medkit just to get himself ready for the fight. Just get himself ready for this 1v1. Will he be able to take him down, though? Will Robert be able to secure his second kill? He does get the peek around the corner, but no bullets land, and he will be able to secure it, though. If Bayrak was not able to get that close quarter fight, and I thought that he would, honestly, with the, they both kind of had M7s, but I guess Robert just had the better, or the steadier aim. He had the better recoil control. Okay, and now we're going to see an M20. That's what you want to see. I want to see more snipers in the game, especially that it's solos.
I feel like we talk about it every time, as we should, because it's just highly rewarding. Like you hit that head, if they didn't have that level 3 helmet, boom, you're gone. And it's also one of the saddest way to die, like to anyone basically in solo mode. Like you're walking around, you've done all your homework, you think about the macro, you found the best cover, you believe that is you're in, but you can't find the absolute best. Sometimes you give them that little bit of like angle, just a little bit, then you die. But we have another 1v1 here. Waleedos, welcome back to the 4th qualifier. Let's see if you can get it to the final one, because we're sick of Sporter for now, not by his skills, but by how he's dominating everything.
He's just not giving anyone else a chance. Now Shimon wants to do exactly the same thing, but somehow with the M249 up close, he's not able to, and Waleedos will be the one honestly surprising us with that 1v1 win. Not surprising, considering that when I look at his armor, look at his helmet as well, he is fully stacked. Double adrenaline syringe, you got 3 painkillers, 5 energy drinks, you got a couple of medkits, or a couple of first aids rather, and a couple of bandages. So he's pretty much sorted for the rest of this game. We're now down to the last 6 players, and Sporta, I swear to God, when I saw him driving around the compound, I was like, okay, this is just a shark, swimming circles around his prey. This is what's happening right now. And Sporta, he's not showing any signs of stopping, but Venya might be able to use this, I guess, the 3rd floor disadvantage, maybe peek through the window, but I don't think he actually has an angle on Sporta. He won't be able to spot him. And Sporta trying not to risk it in the first place, trying to see if he can use the nade just to get the kill. Okay, I swear to God, if he throws the nade, gets the kill, and just walks away, that would have been just a little bit too badass. Just a little bit too badass, I would say.
Yeah,
and
I think
sus
he's
would be the word.
just good. You know what? I'm just gonna call it. It could be sus. Like, there's one thing that I was looking for was like his camera angle in terms of why the heck he is actually, stopping there. But of course, there's a car park behind it that was, orange in color, and it was a little bit too obvious, I would say, like from that particular angle with that particular color. So we'll give them benefit of the doubt. After all, there's a lot of things that's really showing. Like, that is not easy to master when it comes to mechanics of this game that this player, Sporter, is showing. So let's see whether he can go further, because I feel like this type of playstyle can be highly punishable, and we're just waiting for someone with a decent gun and decent gun skills, I would say, to really take him down.
Well, we'll see if anyone is up for the challenge. Waleedos, who currently has 1 kill to his name. He's still sitting comfortably in the zone at the moment. There's no need for him to move anywhere. So he's perfectly fine where he is, and especially with how much of the zone that we saw was actually, I guess, on the southern coast and over the ocean. So I'm assuming that the zone after that would have shifted a little bit towards the northern side, so we can have a full island finish, and that just means that the areas like Ferry Pier and Primorsk might stay with us for a little while longer. I don't. I believe Gatka was out in the previous one though, so we won't be seeing it for now. But the blue zone will start closing in about 2 minutes. Fourth zone will
very
be
long
shifting
time.
towards Quarry. Oh yeah. But look at
It's
this
a
though.
very
We're
long
gonna be
time
seeing
for that
Quarry
match.
end.
I love Quarry. Like actually, when I was a player, like when I was in IGL, like Quarry and the surrounding is one of my spots because like, I think it's highly underrated when it comes to what it can do in the early, mid, and late game. You need to know how to split around it properly, though. Like as a solo player, if you know some of those tips, extremely OP as well, especially for Robber, whom we saw on screen earlier. With a ghillie suit as well. Like, let's not forget about the strength of that. Yes, you didn't get the BRDM, but the ghillie suit, so strong on this map.
Oh yeah, and especially when we're doing it in third person, you can try and look around as much as you want, but the ghillie suit will just give you that slight edge, unless it's kind of like a road finish. Then no, just drop it. Don't use it. It's actually gonna get you killed. So let's see here. What's Walidos' plan? He will be taking this. I don't want to say like this lone peak, but I guess it's okay. No, a little bit maybe too far into the blue zone. I'd say this is not a bad position, but if the zone was to shift away, which would be highly likely from this position, he's not going to benefit much from it. He would have to cross the road. That means open area. That means you're gonna get spotted out. But Sporta, I like this though. He drives around every single compound that he finds, hunting for a car, looking for a kill, looking for the next point. He's already heating up the nade, but will he actually be able to get the kill onto Robert here? Nope, no damage whatsoever. Robert just backing out a little bit and might not even take the fight at all. No, Sporta deciding to jump on the high ground. Looks like he knows that Robert's running away. I think this is very aggressive. Yeah.
Very aggressive, but very nicely done. You can see he takes the time to look behind as well when he's cooking the nade. Like, those things don't come through all the time. And I think it's so important in solo mode to know that, like, just half a magazine can just take you down if someone's really good with the spray. So Sporta now would borrow the buggy from the enemy as well, and would try to choke it from the other side. And Robin needs to come out of this alive, like if he wants to go further, I should say. But he has that potential, but now it's going to be trickier because he's back to some very comfort space, right? Because he's got that ghillie suit and he can now hide.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, and it's going to make it that much more difficult for Sporta to spot him out. And the fact that, we heard a couple of gunshots, so that means that other people around the area might be thinking about third partying, and we know how easy it is to do that here, especially in a solos game. Now Sporta, we should be seeing the zone, and looks like it is going to be a kind of like a sub. Oh, wait a minute, we'll talk about that later. Sporta is going for the push onto Robert. Robert not really aware of the situation. Beautiful control by Sporta with the Groza, and this is what we talked about before. Having the Groza for those close range fights, you can just absolutely shred anyone and everyone. Doesn't matter what armor you're wearing, doesn't matter what car you're in. Will instantly take you down. 6 kills to his name. Not possible for him to get, I guess, 10 kills in the game, but quite possible for him to just get a 7, 8, 9 at this point. Sad we won't see the double digits when it comes to, I guess, kills for Sporta. But I guess that makes it easier. I want to say easier on the other players, considering that from our understanding, Sporta's already qualified. So if he gets first place, the qualification spot might be going to the second place. We'll confirm that with test tree and confirm everything afterwards.
Yeah, I think that should be the case, right? Like, you can't just you can't just not benefit yourself and but hurt someone else. It's going to be extremely sad, but it's exactly, I would say that's not what he's trying to do. It's just further practice. And like, for those who don't know who he was when you were watching last week, the reason why we hype him up so much was because of his skills, basically, like the quick peeks coming through, the scouting coming through. Like, if you don't know me, I'm extremely harsh. I basically, shout at pro players every day, and they would thank me for that. But like, what Sporta is doing can be very punishable, but he does it very well. Like, he knows how to use rich lines, and he would use every single inch that's available to him to make the job slightly easier, but the aggression will not come down at all.
No, it will not, as he is already walking up to his next victim. The nade will do a decent bit of damage to Bolidos. He's going to be taking the 1v1 close range, and finally, we see that a god does bleed. Sporta actually took damage in this game. And now Bolidos, I'm not sure he's going to be able to come out on top at the end of this one. Ah, my god. Okay, I'm loving the let's go with it. Just math. Just plain and simple. Math. Well played. Using the angle to get it right. You know, let's not go there, man. It's too early. 3 people left in the game, and Sporta is on a killing spree. 7 kills to his name so far. And he's already looted up and ready to go. He has control over one of the compounds and one of the buildings in the zone. Let's see. Is his plan going to be to hold out or to go on the hunt with the buggy? I think it's going to be going on the hunt. There's no way he's going to stay in that. Yeah, he's going to go. He's going to try and find the next kills. He's a very, very proactive player, but maybe a little bit too proactive, as we got an Uzi very close to Sporta now. But he got lucky at 98, deciding, oh, I'm telling you, man, he's a shark. He's just driving around this area, and everyone lies down on the ground. They don't want to take the fight to Sporta at this point.
You know what? I think it's
like a Jaws soundtrack.
Man, yes, he's for sure a shark. But you know, when you have a very hilly landscape, when you've got info basically to say that, hey, not a lot of people are in the circle, that means they're rotating in. If they're on foot, then in the hilly landscape means that I can outspeed you, but I can also move into cover if I really need to. And if you are on the car anyway, then we're both driving. So like, what's the problem? So I think the driving skill is really key here to making this work. And then he's made his spin and now just comes back in. Can't really fault that. But obviously he needs to do what other people are not doing as well, as he is hiding the cars. Otherwise, just for those who's been avoiding action, like the utilities are all for this time, and you just nade all like every single compartment of this building, trying to just track the footsteps as well. You can actually, when it comes to that hill up top, that could be where Sporta falls, you know. Someone really just crawling in, using third-person peek, and then just finding the best time to land that nade.
Well, let's find out if they will be using that to their advantage in the final moments of the first game. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, this is the last qualifier for South Korea. The last opportunity for these players to show us what they got. We're looking at these last 3 players now. Number 98, outside of the zone. He does have to move slowly. We do see that, you know, number 68 as well does have a little bit of an advantage, as he's the only one that's in the zone at the moment. Sporta not moving out of his compound just yet, but I do love the wraparound from number 98 here, sticking to the edge, which is usually what you'd see in those moments of the game. So well played by him, and he might just run into number 68 here, who hasn't healed himself up. So I'm not too sure if that's him looking around, constantly worried about someone showing up, or him not having stims. No, he does. He pretty much has everything he needs. He's just waiting for the right moment. Maybe he put his phone down. He's making a cup of tea, maybe making a cup of coffee, making himself something to eat. God. Going on a short break. Sporta on the hunt once more. Dana. That's what I say. It's just, he's literally just being Jaws right now, looking for those last 2 guys. He finally hears some shots. 98 will be able to secure his first kill of the game, but Sporta looking to secure his 8th if he manages to get this last one. Couple of smokes will be popped by 98. Doesn't want to give Sporta the opportunity to rush. I like that. I'm bringing out the Uzi for those close range fights as well, but we all know Sporta does have a Groza. Ooh, huge damage from that first nade. He might have thrown a second one. I don't see anything so far, but he is warming up another one. Nope, throws it on the right side. No, that was actually a smoke, just to make sure that he has some extra cover. He's popping an extra stim in the last few moments of the game. Because we know in those last few moments, everything counts. Everything helps.
It's a distraction smoke. He's throwing it to the another side of the circle. Like 2 of them are thrown by him to a completely different side. So then maybe that will force this player, to move on to the wrong side of the map when Sporter got those. Like that's the trick thing when it comes to nades as well. Like you can't really hear where the pin is pulled from that distance, but you can see it landing on you. Unless you can spot the projectile, you will just need to guess, right? But it seems like because the plan is so clear for this player now going against Sporter in that 1v1 to go into the zone, as you can see on the top right. So he's thinking very linearly only, just I need to crawl into zone, I'm going to smoke towards the zone. So sometimes when you're too big brain Sporter, people can't fall into your trap. So that's the problem with that distraction smoke plan.
Let's see if that distraction smoke will have the intended effect. Sporta finally going to be pushing up, but 98 does get a little bit of an advantage with the Uzi. A little bit of dink damage here and there. The nade strikes back for Sporta, and now 98 throwing some nade of his own. So if Sporta actually moves up in those few seconds, he might actually get taken down. A little bit of damage. Is he cooking? What's happening? Is he taking damage from the blue zone? He's deciding to finally go in, just gets a little bit of a heal, and finally, that final push from Sporta secures his 8th kill of the game. And once more, he comes back. He took an absence from the 3rd week, comes back in the 4th week, and still keeps his streak alive. 3 chicken dinners in a row for Sporta. Since the 2nd qualifier, back in the 4th one now. 3 chicken dinners. And I mean, he's definitely reached over 20 kills at this point, if we want to count all of the kills from all the games. But just from today's game, just from today's Erangel, he's reached 8. So he's going to have quite a ridiculous amount of points for that first game. And honestly, even if he didn't qualify, I think he could have missed out on the 2nd game and still qualified with the points that he got, because it's still a huge amount, considering the fact that he got most kills in the game.
That's actually quite insane. You can see, like, I rarely see someone play to the level of precision that, yes, that he's playing at. Yes, fine. Extremely aggressive, may not work in other modes, but you can see it's so fine-tuned. Even in the last maneuver, you can see his character jumping up a slope. So that means that he will come in like with that small split second of extra elevation from 3rd person peak to make sure he lines up his shot later on. A lot of people would just run up or crawl up. No, he wants to outmaneuver. He wants to make sure that someone needs to catch up with their crosshair, while he would just get that first bit of information without risking too much. So those things are not easy, to have. And to be fair, if I put myself in that situation, having the coaching experience that I had, I probably wouldn't make a point about that as well, to players, until I see it, right? So that was a great demonstration of skill, and the precision, the response to those audio cues as well was spot on.
Well, once again, we are left speechless by Sporta, Tarzan. Honestly, I have to ask, how is it possible for him to just constantly do this? The amount of experience that he must have, or the amount of playtime that he must have dedicated to PUBG Mobile at this point, just to kind of have these instincts, just to kind of be able to read so many different things about a player, their location, just through, I guess, their footsteps. It's okay, he's on this floor, he's probably in this room, so throw the grenade at this angle, and he gets it perfectly every single time. It's not that he gets the kill with the nades every single time, but he at least gets a decent amount of damage onto them, gives himself a little bit of an advantage if he decides to rush as well. So still very well played by him. And now I am going to be looking towards the other players. I am going to be looking towards who else might contest the first place spot. Who else does have the opportunity to get an insane amount of kills and a chicken dinner in the 2nd game. It is going to be Miramar. It is going to be a little bit different. Hopefully we'll see some more focus from snipers. We'll see a couple of more headshots. That's kind of more what I'm looking forward towards from the likes of Miramar, especially that it's a solo tournament. I want to see those individual skills, coming out through an M24, an AWM, a Car9 headshot. Those are the kind of moments that I live for. Those are the kind of moments I'm looking for. But we will be taking a very short break in a bit, and we'll be coming back with the 2nd game of the day on Miramar. Any thoughts on that, Tarzan?
I'm still thinking about the mechanics. My brain is naturally drawn to, analyzing these small things. When a player allows that type of analysis based on the way that he plays, It's always a pleasure. I think when we're thinking about certain things that he's done or hasn't done yet, or we haven't get to see yet, I think it's worth talking about as well if you want to be better in this game. So how he got that last compound control was amazing. Like, of course, they could be third party, and that's something that he should always be aware of. But when it comes to those 2 consecutive nades, he went to a particular side of the room that can really force, if he starts through the door where he ended the kill, then he would given the players too many options. He can go into maybe the left side of that room or the small room, that causing his next nade to not be able to do like damage to either rooms. But so he went to the side first. He would nade and force that player to the huge side of the room or the bigger space, and then he will nade again within the time frame that the other person could have completed a heal. So he basically just using one nade to manipulate the movement of the player and then force them into a space where any sort of level of splash damage can be done, as long as they are far enough like from him, from that doorway. But if they're coming close to him, then he just opens the door and just spray him down. So like these things is the clarity. He either has a very clear mind, functioning at a very high level, or he's just, like he said, the playtime's been so like vast that he is now tuned and conditioned to what works and what doesn't.
Yeah, I definitely want to see, I guess, this kind of level of play in the finals as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be taking just a very short break, and we'll be coming back to you with the second and final game of the day to see, will Sporta reign supreme once again and get himself a 4th chicken dinner, or will someone surprise us from the other attendees and from the other players? We'll find out after the break. See you soon.
Show like what it can do like for you when you start to play from this game. Excuse me. That is some crazy
in the bathroom, and now he knows that he will be invaded in a couple of seconds. You see, if you had the option to just get in the bathtub, that would give you the best protection. But number 10, beautiful repositioning.
Hello and welcome, I'm Testry, and today with me is Sadu TV. I'm sure that you want to get to know him better, so I prepared a few questions for him. Are you ready? Let's go back in time, because the first one is about your childhood. So, what was your biggest hobby as a kid? When does it start?
정말 어렸을 때부터 게임을 정말 좋아했어요. 아마 6살이었던 것 같은데 그때부터 동네 오락실에서 부모님한테 몰래 걸려서 혼났던 기억이 새록새록 나네요.
Okay, thank you. And when did you get interested in games, in PC?
부모님이 알려주셔서 PC에 관심을 가졌어요. 완전 빠지게 된 거는 초등학교 때부터였습니다.
Okay, nice. But what was your first game ever?
이 서든어택의 서든어택이라는 넥슨사의 FPS 게임이었습니다. 어렸을 때 생각해보니까 어렸을 때부터 총 쏘는 걸 참 좋아했네요.
From where and when did your passion for PUBG Mobile came from?
우선 유튜브를 보고 처음 시작했는데 한 유튜버의 솔로 스쿼드가 정말 멋있어 보였습니다. 그래서 게임을 시작하게 됐고요.
Where does the passion for streaming and filming came from?
영상 제작은 제가 솔로 정복자를 처음 달성하고 제 노하우를 알려주기 위해 시작했는데, 방송은 그 뒤로부터 구독자 1,000명쯤에 시작했습니다. 많은 분들이 응원해 주시는 만큼 실력적으로도 성장하는 모습을 보여드렸습니다.
Okay, and how about your family? What was their reaction?
처음엔 반대하셨지만 지금은 긍정적인 반응이십니다.
So streaming is your only source of income?
아니요. 대학생 신분으로 유튜브를 시작했죠. 지금은 졸업을 앞두고 있어요.
What was your biggest success?
유튜브에서는 이 모바일 배그 꿀팁과 공략이라는 시리즈로 큰 인기를 좀 얻었습니다. 가장 인기 있는 영상은 현재 조회수 150만 회 정도 이렇게 나왔던 것 같아요.
What is your life like now?
지금은 매우 만족스러운 삶을 살고 있습니다. 취미생활도 즐기고 운동도 하면서요. 무엇을 하든지 여가 시간이 가장 중요한 것 같아요.
How would you encourage young people to follow your footsteps?
매우 주제넘는 소리지만 그래도 하시고자 마음 먹었다면 직접 뛰어들어서 열심히 하셨으면 좋겠습니다. 응원할게요.
What's your tips for SkillzVault players?
다들 재밌고 매너 있는 경기 해주셨으면 합니다.
What would you say if you want to invite every single Korean in the world to SkillzVault?
조심하실 게 있다면 저희 팀 정도? 농담입니다.
Okay, Sadu TV, thank you very much for the interview and see you next time. Good luck on the tournament.
Player number 10 under a lot of pressure will get caught out in the open, but he manages to get the return kill. Now General might just be able to steal that one away with the UMP. Well, wait a minute, while they might not even find himself in the zone, this could be a big problem. General gonna be running in the open. Jordan says, nah, I don't care about trigger discipline right now.
It is possible to change crypto into fiat money, into traditional money. It is possible through an exchange, a crypto exchange, which accepts both crypto assets and fiat money. Like, for example, you can change from Bitcoin Vault to Korean won or Japanese yen. It's possible. You just need to have an account on a crypto exchange.
Four times at that range? How did that miss? And now it's gonna be peeking again from Jordan. And he somehow gets the kill, but he's not out of the woods just yet. You gotta
Too much patience. That's the time to take
Oh,
it. but that
Jordan!
won't be the case.
Jordan, he's done it! Oh, Jordan's done it!
Okay, so we are back in the studio. Guys, can you say something?
Hello.
Hello,
Hi,
fantastic.
great.
I hear you very, very clearly.
감사합니다.
I was a little bit confused because, you know, I have some TVs around me and it was like frozen for a moment, so I didn't know if we have a communication or not. So, guys, isn't it funny? Because we were wondering if we can see someone like Sporta today, and we saw him himself. He was on the server. What a hell! What a
I
hell.
mean,
He's a troll.
I think he missed us. Honestly, I think he kind of missed us. He missed the competition, and you know, he just wanted to tease what we might see in the finals from him again in the last qualifiers. You know, just giving us a little bit of a taste. I like it though. I like it. Fair play, Sport.
Yeah, I was missing him too, but when we are talking about Sporta, he's like so clever, he's so confident, yeah? He's driving his car around, he's seeing his opponents, he's so confused, not confused, but you know, so confident. Yeah, I was looking for these words.
Yes.
He's so confident. I'm thinking that in the finals, like he will smash everybody. But unfortunately, in these qualifications, he is not able to play in the finals because you know the qualifiers are open. But you know the main prize of the qualifiers is to qualify to play with the stars, and Sporta is already there. So, if not Sporta, who do you think will be who will eat a chicken dinner today, Sandstorm? What do you think? If not Sporta.
Well, now that you brought up a chicken dinner, I think I might want one. But no, in all seriousness, I mean, you see, that's the thing. I don't think that other players were actually given an opportunity to show what they had in the game. Like maybe Robert had a couple of good fights, but then Sporta showed up and then robber was just non-existent anymore. So like that's the problem, because Sporta was, I guess, so prevalent over all the other players. We didn't really get an opportunity to see them shine. We didn't really get an opportunity to see what they're capable of. So I can't really pinpoint or predict just the one player, but I'm looking forward to, I guess, a lobby without Sporta and then seeing what that's going to be like for the fourth qualifier. But, you know, like I said before, we do have a couple of players that were present in the previous qualifiers as well, and I guess they were in at least the third one, and they're back right now with the fourth and final qualifier as well. So it's going to be pretty close, I guess, at the end. You know, KR, not his first time showing up. I can't read the rest. And I believe there was one more name that was present as well. Can't put my finger on it, but we do have some repeats. General X was one of them for sure. And I think Shimani OG as well. That name is also, I think this is the second time that we've seen him in the qualifiers. So maybe that extra little bit of experience might help him out a little bit in the game. I'm looking forward to it either way.
Okay, but talking about sport, because we have him today, so we can talk about him for an hour, I think. But Tarzan, please list 3 things in which Sporta is better than other players. 3 things.
First thing would be priority and skill related to vehicle usage. That's extremely important. So when we're talking about like grabbing the car, you know, driving, controlling it, and driving it in a way that uses the landscape well, that's the first thing. 2, I'd say the sensitivity to audio cues, right? He responds to them very quickly. He would pinpoint like his pre-firing around the edge of the covers, and as well as utility against that type of info. So that would be the second thing. The third thing would just be movement. Okay, I can extend the list, but I think movement that is purposeful movement would be the key here. Like sometimes you see players move around or whatnot, but the crosshairs flying everywhere. So his movement when it comes to micro zigzags, as well as how he lines up his shots, which bit of the hill that he goes up for, like that is the 3 key things. I don't want to talk about gun control because that is, a lot of people can be decent at that while you just completely suck in all the other areas. So that would be my 3 things. 1 in general, so cars, and 2 would be audio cues, so ears, right? And the third thing would be movements.
Okay, thank you so much. Perfect. I think we can say even more that he knows them very well. He knows the game. He actually knows where to stand. I think a sense of the game, I think, will be the next thing that he's better than other players. So, guys, now it's time for a break. Then we are coming back to you guys, and then we are going straight to the final. Okay? Okay.
Sounds great.
Sounds good.
Sounds great. Okay, so now quick break, and then we are going back to the casters.
A huge amount of time spent on developing a new security standard in crypto has paid off. In November 2020, the Bitcoin Vault 3-key security solution was launched on mainnet. Therefore, Bitcoin Vault has delivered on its promise to become a cryptocurrency allowing reversible transactions. It is time to move forward. In the coming years, the team behind Bitcoin Vault will focus on 6 work streams. Number 1, development. Our main goal here will be to become a part of a decentralized application ecosystem revolving around Ethereum 2.0. That's why we want to create a wrapped version of Bitcoin Vault by the end of 2021. Number 2, security. We have our own team of blockchain security experts who audit the code on a regular basis. It's better to be safe than sorry. That's why we stay ahead of dangers and potential loopholes or bugs in the system. We will work with external partners to apply any fixes necessary, perform penetration tests, and at some point work with community and white hats on blockchain security. Number 3, user experience. Bitcoin Vault apps will continue to improve. In the coming years, we will focus on collecting user feedback and applying it to redesign our products to make them user-friendly, convenient, and fresh. Number 4. Products. Along with IT development, we are strongly focusing on market adoption with new products in the pipeline. In 2021, we want to launch staking products with our partner support and connect the Bitcoin Vault ecosystem to fiat currencies. Number 5. Marketing. Awareness. This will be our marketing and communication focus for the next few years. Despite years of rapid development, only a small percentage of people around the world use crypto. It's time for a change. And last but not least, number 6. Quantum computing. The final workstream is more long-term. We are looking at quantum computing concepts with a lot of expectations. What would that mean for blockchain and distributed ledger technology? We will partner with public institutions and private businesses to find a new role for blockchain projects supporting emerging technologies. We cannot predict the future, but we can shape it. Join us. Find out more by visiting our website at btcv.com. Hello BTCV enthusiasts! In this video you will find instructions on how to set up Gold Wallet on your mobile device, as well as how to create a 3-key Vault wallet. Before we start, you need to download and install Gold Wallet app. You can get it on Play Store for Android devices and on App Store for iOS devices. You will also need a second device. It can be another phone, tablet, or a computer. How to set up Gold Wallet. To start the onboarding process, open the Gold Wallet app and follow the instructions in this video. Set up a 4-digit PIN you will use to log in. Now re-enter the PIN to confirm it. Create a strong transaction password that you will use to confirm all transactions and tap Save. Now re-enter the password to confirm it and tap Save. You're all set. Tap Go to Dashboard to start using the Gold Wallet. How to create a 3-key Vault wallet. Tap Wallets in the menu at the bottom of the screen. Tap the plus icon on the top right corner of the screen. Choose a name for your wallet. Select a 3-key Vault wallet from the list. Tap Add New Wallet. Now you need to generate and add your fast transaction key. Go to keygenerator.bitcoinvault.global on a separate device. When you're ready, tap Scan on the Gold Wallet mobile app. On the Key Generator website, you will see a PDF document which contains your public key and private key. Use your mobile device to scan the public key QR code. Next, click Export as PDF and save this document as a cancel transaction key. Now click Generate New Key to generate cancel transaction key and stay on the website. Tap Scan on the Gold Wallet mobile app. Use your mobile device to scan the public key QR code. Next, click Export as PDF and save this document as a fast transaction key. Wait for your wallet to be ready. It might take a while, so be patient. Now you will see a 12-word seed phrase. Write it down in the same order as it appears on the screen and store it in a safe place. Then tap OK, I wrote this down to go back to the main screen. Your wallet is now ready to use. Thank you for watching.
Unfortunately, this time it's just me and Tarzan. We don't have Testry with us. He's just waiting and making sure that everything is running smoothly. We are going to be jumping into the second game within a few short moments. But now that we have some time to talk about the game before we actually jump into it, and I guess with the slight change of Sporta not being present in the second game, do you think the game got a little bit harder for players, or do you think it got easier because of the absence of Sporta?
I think it's going to be. Oh, it's tricky. I'd say just easier in general. You get to live longer. You get to maybe show your skills.
That's positive.
Like General X and Robber. Maybe those would be the two that is on my mind. Like that could make it, especially from the way that Robber played. I think it's a similar or like a toned down version of what Sports has been doing, and he pulled off some cheeky moves and was efficient enough. So maybe that can change, but it's also difficult in a way. Yes, like I think overall, easier. But the one thing that has been more difficult will be thinking about how to play, because it's not so clear cut when it comes to like how the rankings looking like without Sporty in the picture. He soaked up so many of those points, and this time around, it's so hard to say, hey, like, where do I actually go? How should I actually play this? Like, would there be a way that I can even win this game but still not qualify? Right. So that would be one huge question to ask.
Yeah, and I guess it would depend on their placement in the previous game. Obviously, the higher placement you get, the more points that you can accumulate, and the easier it is for you to qualify. But I guess it does make it easier for everyone, and I think basically the winner of this game, no matter how, I guess, what happens, the winner of this game is the player that's going to qualify. Because in the previous game, some players had, I think the second highest amount of kills was 2 compared to the 8 that Sporta had at the end of the game. So the way I see it is not many points were collected by the other players in their first game. So I think the second game is going to have a huge impact, and it's going to be obviously the one that decides who's going to be the one to qualify, who's going to be joining Sporta and Jordan in the finals, and I'm going to be playing in I guess for that first place prize and to represent Korea in the tournament. So that's going to be quite interesting to see. Honestly, we're still in the first 4 weeks of the tournament, and we're basically starting another qualifier tomorrow, which is going to be quite interesting. Finally getting a look at another one of the regions that's participating in the tournament. So, they're starting to build up for SkillzVault, I believe, at this time.
I think it's going to be extremely interesting. Like from my standpoint, an analyst standpoint, I would say just the styles of play and level of interest as well. So like. Can't really say for now, but Korea's been great so far, and I think we have some strong representatives to come through. So it's about maybe Sporta change it, maybe adapting a little bit to what seems to be a different lobby when we get to that. But I can't say that yet because he needs to first win like in this finals, and it's going to be a little bit different. We look at the format, it will be about synergy because they're going to team up with their influencers, so that is going to make some change. Like who knows, maybe he can be the dead weight, like when the influencers are so good, or it could be the other way around. There's so many different type of synergy, I would say.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be quite interesting, to say the least. And don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, we won't be long until the second game starts. So if you guys, like to guess, choose a number between, let's say, 1 and 10. We'll see if you get the winner or not. We're still kind of preparing the lobby before we jump into the game. You know what? We talked a little bit about Erangel. Now I kind of want to talk about not just Miramar's play style, right? So, we mentioned before, a couple of the drop locations that we like. And, we mentioned, for example, let's say football teams or soccer teams or whatever in Erangel. What do you think Miramar would be then? Do you think Miramar would be volleyball? Would they have basket? Would they be like more of a basketball kind of vibe? Or what do you think?
I think beach volleyball would be the good one, yeah. You know what? I would go for some more exotic type of racing.
Okay.
You get what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't even know the sport. Like when you've got like trucks, but they're like flying around and doing like tricks and flips.
Like what,
Have
monster
you heard of-
trucks?
Monster trucks would be it. Monster truck.
Yeah, I mean,
teams
yeah, I
would
mean,
be a
first
very
we
good brand.
we literally have ramps around the map. Okay, so like it's there. The opportunity is there. We just need someone to, I guess, do it. Any player who's competing in the second game, show us what you got. Show us your skills. Like we've seen a lot of players, I guess, drifting into action. We've seen a lot of players, I guess, I want to use some Formula One terms, but that's not going to work here. We don't do this here. I guess he was trying to turn a little bit too hard, and the car would flip, or like let's say the ground isn't too steady, so that kind of caused him. I'm trying to find the right word, but it's just not working for me right now. I lost
Drift?
it. No, the terrain. Wow, the terrain. The terrain is not like it
Right.
isn't smooth, so there's a lot of bumps. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. So like that can sometimes make it a little bit difficult for you when you're trying to push, but don't worry. I believe we're just 1 minute away from the game, so I will ask you your favorite question, Tarzan.
Hi, my yai. Okay, go for it.
No. I'll save you. No. I'll save you this time. I'm just gonna give you one of my predictions since we're gonna be jumping into the game. I think I'm gonna give it to Validos, honestly. I think he's gonna surprise us in the last game. I think he's gonna be the one to qualify from the last qualifiers. Do you have any player on your mind? Anyone that you wanna pick or?
Interesting. Like, it's going to be a hard one. It's going to be extremely hard, but you know what? I will give it to you within 5 seconds, that answer, when we see that playing path. Okay, I'll have a quick look.
You know what?
I will pick one very quick.
That's fine. You know what? Just for you, we're gonna take a quick ad break, give you an opportunity to look at those players, and then we're gonna be coming back straight into the game. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly. See you.
Bitcoin Vault is the only cryptocurrency on the market that allows reversible transactions. It is possible through a unique set of private and public keys. We use those to allow users to perform different kind of transactions. So for example, if you are sending crypto from one address to another, you are using a combination of one of the three keys. If you change your mind in the process and you want to cancel and reverse this transaction, you are using a different private key. So our free key security structure is a concept of managing three private keys that are a common tool in crypto, where you can use different keys to perform different kind of transactions, and at the end you can either reverse it or speed it up. Price of cryptocurrencies are determined by the market, by the game between supply and demand. It's the same story with forex markets or stocks markets or commodities. If supply is bigger than demand, then price drops. If the demand is bigger than supply, price increases.
Cover. Rames is the one that's going to be poking out here. He's the one that's in the open. He's the one that's kind of exposed, but General's still hiding because you know what's going on. General with the B gives him a nice little drop shot, and then wait, I was kind of looking forward to him taking the fight, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Jordan surprises number 15, parks the car a little bit far away, takes cover.
Bitcoin Vault is very similar to the king of crypto, Bitcoin. but the main difference is that it is possible to reverse a transaction with our cryptocurrency. With Bitcoin Vault, if you make a mistake, if you change your mind, you can always reverse your transaction. You have 24 hours for that. It's a limited time opportunity. There are numerous ways you can use Bitcoin Vault. Like, for example, we have a partnership with Exino. It's e-commerce where you can use your Bitcoin Vault to buy, for example, gaming accessories. Or you can create an account with a free wallet where you can buy gift cards. Those gift cards you can use in both online and offline stores. Or if you want, you can buy BTCV and donate to the prize pool of SkillzVault.
And then gone for those shots. Oh, that was so close. And now Walidas will have an opportunity to get some cover, but the spray's still there, and Jordan secures the second kill of the game. And now we're down to the spray down here with the M4. Just needs a couple more shots, switches again to the sniper. Will he be able to actually secure the kill? Oh, yes he does.
NFT stands for non-fungible token. It means that it's one token which is unique. It represents the uniqueness. There is only one. With SkillzVault project, we are launching a series of NFTs related to games, influencers, and competitors that will represent certain figures, certain personas, as well as the teams. So stay tuned for NFT series related to SkillzVault.
SkillzVault by Bitcoin Vault is the gaming talent show which connects esports former players, famous influencers with young people who want to become an esports star. SkillzVault by Bitcoin Vault is the project operated and created by ESC. Viral Agency is the main producer of this project.
After sending Mom away, that will be a way to come in, but let's not do that while staying still. Jordan with the headshot. He wants a pan fight. Jordan wants a pan fight. He's already won this, and he wants this in style.
That's the thing. He's literally turning around and showing him like, look, I have no pan, and that is going to be a headshot for Jordan. And ladies and gentlemen, we are back with the second game of the fourth and final qualifier for the South Korean tournament, brought to you by SkillzVault. Here, we will be seeing who's going to be the last player to be joining us in the finals for the tournament, and we've already started off with our second game. You see, I guess the playing path was also pretty southern from what we've seen. I believe it was coming from the west of La Driera over the likes of Chumacera, Los Leones, and the southern side of the map. We're seeing a total of 8 people who are going to be joining us for this game, and only one of them will be able to make it to the finals. One of them will be able to play for that first place prize. And from what we've seen, so far, all the players seem to have dropped, pretty much far away from each other. We got presence in Puerto Paricio. We got, I believe, 1 or 2 players in Los Leones, but there's a fair distance between them. Picado and La Bandita will also have a player each. And I believe someone's making the long jump still with the parachute, dropping onto El Pozo. And then I believe we have 2 players, Walidos, who's actually dropping pretty close. Oh, wait a minute. I think Shimon might actually have some technical difficulties. So Walido's just going to start the game off with a couple of punches. And we'll be starting off with his first game. You know what they say, Tarzan. All is fair in love and war. And I don't know about you, but a battle royale, that seems like war to me. So I think Walido's was pretty fair with that assessment.
It really brought me back to, a particular mode of the game. It's actually just arcade mode, and there's sometimes you are restricted to certain classes of weapons, right? And the melee one is always my favorite. Like when you get it, you just see crazy kids, crazy people running around holding a machete. Like that is just next level. I love it so much. Now that you can throw it as well, I just want to play that mode again. But to my small disappointment, to say the least, I wanted to see maybe Robber and General X, because they showed quite a lot of potential, and to not come back in this final game, I feel like they've missed out big times. So Walidos, I'd say, let's just say that he's being rewarded for his, how should I say, courage, or just his passion. Right, he's just coming back. He doesn't give up. He's just coming back and back. Perseverance would be the word. And so we've seen him. I think this is the 3rd week now, if not the 4th. Right, and so he's never given up. And this might be the time for him to shine, and for him to start this game, this last qualifier. Man, that is huge for him. And I want to see him next week. Of course, when you've got a different. We talked about synergy. Of course, when we compare maybe raw stats or raw. Gun skill at this point in time, we've got Sporter being pretty high up there, but when you match that with their influences, who know what the magic would give? Maybe Walidos can win this one and create some great plays with our beautiful influences.
Of course, that's what everyone wants as well. The opportunity not just to compete in the finals, but also to compete with some of the biggest influencers there are in their respective regions. Now I'm looking at the state of the game. The state is currently 5 minutes have passed. 2 minutes up until the first zone will start moving, and I'm still looking, at the distribution of players that we have, and they are pretty far apart. So I'm hoping once more to be seeing, something that we brought this up before, the likes of an M24, a Car9, and Moisen being brought out here. But the one sniper, can we even call it a sniper? The VSS?
Man, are we going to start this again? Yes. I kind of want to bring it.
Okay. I'm gonna give you the opportunity to go for an opening statement.
Okay, I love the VSS. There you go.
Honestly, I like it. I like it, but I don't see it as a useful weapon. Post 3 minutes into the game. After 3 minutes into the game, I don't see much use for the VSS.
I think its strength is definitely not on this map. Let's put it into context first. There's so many better weapons to do that. But when it comes to what it does well, the best, if people been following PUBG, not just in the mobile version, there was a player or a content creator called Wacky Jackie who's known for his VSS play, and he would always make these plays and also montages to show you the exact way that this gun can function as its best, just for the particular type of players. But other than that, to be fair, I'm with you. It's so hard to make it work at the best ability and its potential in pro play right now. The so-called spectrum for it to work as its best is not huge. It's not wide and it's not huge. And for the things that they do decently well in the VSS. Some other guns are coming like rather close right now, especially with some of these SMGs that can do long range. Talk about the PP Bison, for example. Like, love that gun. Like, you don't really need a lot of attachments. Max size amazing.
True.
So like that would be, you know, another choice. But speaking of snipers, I've got one for you, and I want to hear your thoughts. Right, the Winchester 94.
Ooh, the Winchester. Honestly, I'm a big fan of it. Very big fan. It's one of my favorite weapons to actually use, regardless of, you know, the fact that it doesn't do a lot of damage. I just like using it, you know, early to mid game. You know, if I can't get my hands on a Car9 or a Moisen, I guess I would use the Winchester just for like medium to short distances. I wouldn't even use it for long distance, because I think, you know, the bullet drop and, you know, is too much on the weapon. I don't think it's actually quite useful. You know, I would, to give you, I guess, more context, 250 plus range, I wouldn't be using it. I wouldn't be using the Winchester, honestly. Less than that, quite possibly, but more distance than that, no. I think it would just be better to go. I mean, hell, you could still use the AR that you would have. You would benefit a lot more from that. But if I was to choose between the Winchester and VSS, oh no, Winchester for sure.
Okay. You know what? I've got another one for you. Now that we're talking about Winchester,
all right,
it's got to change, right? Like, before they've got this really weird like V-shaped crosshair, or should I say the iron sight, and that's the only option in the past. Although it works the same way now, they've got an intrinsic scope of 2.5 times, I would say, and that really changed it. Like, would you prefer like the spice and what would? It's almost like a fetish, like, of the old Winchester, or the new one with the intrinsic scope.
Actually, that's pretty interesting. That is very,
Right?
very interesting. Because, like, you know, you're used to having the... Because, like, yeah, before, I guess, it was just the Winchester on its own. It didn't have a scope when it first came out, right?
Yes.
Well, I believe when it first came out, it didn't have a scope, or am I wrong?
You are correct. Like, they didn't
Yeah.
have a scope. Like, the old crosshair was just like a bit of a U shape, not even crosshair, I should say. It's just the iron sight. It's worse than the
Yeah.
AK. It's like a very it's almost like, you know how these people give like like a V like on their hand, and then allow their
Yeah.
puppies to basically lodge their head right on top. That's exactly what we want to do with
Yeah.
the enemy's head. That's how it looked like in the past. Like, now it's got the scope, right? So, but I
Yeah.
don't see people really enjoy it as much, because it's a little bit less challenging at the same time. Like, the reward that you get is just different. Like, when you got iron sight, it's like, it's even better than like a 300-meter Car 98 headshot on like with the iron sight. That is because of the shape, I think, of that iron sight.
Honestly, you know what? I get your point. I get your point, and I'm gonna add another one on top of it. So, you know, sometimes when you're playing a game, sometimes you're playing to win, right? If you're playing to win, I'm gonna get an AR, and I'm gonna pick up, like, let's say an M24 or a Groza. I'm gonna have an AR and a shotgun, an AR and an SMG, right? But when you're playing for fun, sometimes you pick an AR, and then you're like, you know what? I'm gonna go for a sniper, but I'm not even gonna use a sniper at like long range. I'm just gonna use it with with an iron sight. And then you just want to be able to get those flicks. You just want to be able to get those nice little headshots. Even though if it's an iron sight, you want to be able to like beat someone 1v1 close range with a sniper. That's just entertaining.
Yeah.
So I guess if that's what you're looking for, the Winchester pre-sight, or at least if they gave you the opportunity to remove the sight from the weapon, then yeah, you could have, I guess, a little bit more fun with it. But with the scope, the best thing, I guess, the more entertaining part would be trying to go for like just quick scopes with it. Other than that, no, I think I would actually prefer the old one. I prefer to go with the iron sight and then trying my luck. Like, I guess Harry or RV right now is trying his luck with very long range on the red dot. I'm not even sure how he can see them at this distance.
Hey. But you know what? Like, those small maneuvers with the peek and quick peeks, a quick tap or two, like, those are harder like than you think. Like, so the smoothness in transitioning between those like ADS perspectives were actually a good sign of what the player could do. Like I think when it comes to if he can do the same type of maneuver when his peaks are so optimized and like so like down to those pixels, I would say, like you can be so accurate and with smooth movements you can make yourself a CQC beast, right? So close quarter combats, like that's really, really key. And it was one of my favorite things to watch as well when people like pro players make videos or interviews about how they see some of their like fellow competitive players in the CQC. Who do they think is the best and why? It is extremely informative. And this maneuvers where we just saw from RV like could be a good sign of what level he could be on. And great bird right there as well. I actually got this. Have you got yourself a pet in game? Sandstorm, do not leave me. But you know what?
Actually,
like, I'm just gonna.
Unfortunately, no. I've never had the. I'm sorry. I unfortunately, my mic decided to just be muted. But no, I've never actually had a pet. I've always, constantly seen. I don't want to call it King Kong. It's Junior. I'm gonna go with Junior Kong, and what Mini Zilla.
There's a few.
Yeah, I've seen Junior Kong and Mini Zilla, and I just love when the player is just constantly running and their little feet just don't really help them, so they're straggling behind, and the next thing you know, they just teleport right next to their owner.
Like, yeah, I actually didn't like them, like to be in the game because
they
it's
were
like
adorable.
you're trying to be.
What you mean?
Okay, yeah, okay. It's like give and take. They're so adorable, but when you're trying to be all serious casting and there's like a small thing running across the screen, and that's like something I didn't expect. I need to learn like to accept that as well. But it's very interesting, let's say. But like now, I think this type of fights are weird. I think it's weird because like if we just keep the way that we're looking at the game as usual, like this is one of the worst third-party spots ever.
I guess you're 100% right. There's no doubt about that. You're 100% right. But, I guess this would apply if we were to have 40, 50, 60 plus players. Being in a situation like this, especially in a map like Miramar, if you're fighting in the open, that's the first one. Number two, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think either of them have any vehicles. So that means that even when they do get the kill, them trying to escape this area is going to be quite difficult. And look at the area around them as well. Any direction that he's going to try and run, he's going to be running downhill. So that means that he's going to be exposed from one angle or another. So the positioning isn't going to help him either. The lack of mobility when it comes to having a vehicle as well. I guess, Harib does have one at the moment. I'm not sure about player number 58. But I guess, 58 is the one that's going to be under a little bit more pressure compared to RV. At this point, RV is still trying to go for a couple of pot shots at the moment, but not able to land any of them. And the problem is 58, even if he threw a smoke or two, I'm not sure he's going to be able to escape just because of how open the area is at the moment. And the longer this fight goes on, the longer that RV or 58 try to go for a shot on each other, the higher the chance of them getting third-partied gets at this point. The highest chance is always, the way I see it, is if you're playing in Sandhawk, you have about 30 to 45 seconds. From the moment that the fight starts, that's how long I see until you get third-partied. When it comes to Erangel and Miramar, that time is increased, I'd say, by like maybe double. You'd say like 40, maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes until you get third-partied. But I guess, it always depends on the zone. It always depends on, how much of the map is actually available for you to play around.
Yeah, so the face of the game really factors that in. And of course, like, as we always love to analyze, would be about where the circle is. With respect to the circle, I think when it comes to pro play, it's also extremely different because people need to do those like research, big spreadsheets, know where enemies are, like know where they like to rotate past, around what time in game, how much time into the game do they like doing that, right? So all those will be factored in, and we finally are trading some shots. And you know what, one of my favorite things in the game is in mid-range, with the red dot, you land maybe a double, a triple headshot. Nothing beats that. Like you can two tap someone with a DMR, it will not beat a double to triple headshot mid range with a red dot AR, and you just get the kill.
I mean, you know what? Since this fight has gone nowhere, this fight has literally gone nowhere for the past 5 minutes, Tarzan. There's the guy at this point, they're just having a staring contest. Okay, that's what's happening. So I'm gonna ask you this: give me, let's say, your favorite loadout, and I'm talking like everything: weapon, attachments, scope, and that's about it. Like it can be drop or not. Your choice is completely yours. So give me your loot, like first items, first weapon, second weapon, everything. Go.
So we're talking about this map, right?
Yes, we're talking about Miramar specifically.
Okay. Yeah. So my loadout is going to be a Tommy gun with an M4. Because I believe in those skirmishes and double spray, because I'm personally not the best like sniper. But so for the Tommy gun, there's not much choice that you can have. You're forced to have a suppressor as your muzzle. You don't have other choice. But for the scope, you can choose between a holographic and red dot, and I'm a red dot person, right? Like when it comes to that. Like, to be fair, when it came out, like I was because it looks different to other holographics. I actually quite liked it, but then I just slowly got more used to the red dot, and you know what, this fight, they just don't like us talking about stuff, and you know what, down to 0 first aids after this one, and I think that's going to change. But it's fair because phase 3 has popped. They've both got 600 meters to travel. One's got a card, the other one doesn't. Not only do they not have a okay, that was a bit too close, but you know what, like
I think he's gonna go for another one.
And but utility is extremely important for late game, and you didn't really get this out opportunity all the time. That way, the number of players in the lobby is low enough for you to go somewhere else and loot up again. And you know what? I want RV to play a little bit more aggressive. I know that but there's a not ticking time bomb, I should say, but there is a time constraint, to say the least. So he should make some move around here, or he can drive so far away to come in with a different angle, especially when this is, like Minas Generalis in La Bendita area. He can just go along that hill, go even further. He's got skills, and just follow that landscape, that ridge, that hilltop, and then just find a slightly wider angle. But seems like he would just be letting that go. So it's really a different type of patience here. Like for this mode, for this number of players, that is unexpected.
Very much so. We're looking towards we're changing the scenery a little bit for you now, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be going towards yet another duo. Hopefully these guys won't have a staring contest this time around, because I believe, I'm actually counting, there's a total of 6 sixes, 5 sixes next to each other, a double 7, and then a 6. Loving the names. But yeah, so we're looking at a different scenery, we're looking at a different city, and we're looking at quite possibly another scenario. And the thing is, like, the zone isn't really forcing anyone to move. It isn't forcing anyone to do anything. Everyone's kind of, in their own little area, in their own little compound. But Walidos might no longer be in that. What is he doing with the buggy? Was he doing well, it's not really called a wheelie. What's it called with a car, though?
I don't
know. He was driving on 2 wheels, and the other 2 wheels were actually on the building. That's what was happening.
He's having fun, is what he's doing, and that's important.
Fair enough.
And this time around, but you know what, Los Leones, I'm personally a little bit sick of it, because I've had 4 days of PMCO UK cast so far. We've only got 4, like 1 Miramar game per day, right? For all the days, I've got a Los Leones finish. I'm exactly there, or very close to there, and that is I might as well buy the lottery, like at this rate, but I can't really promote that. I'm sorry, but you get what I mean. I'm lucky in that regard, and I get it again today. That is new. Like I'm going to speak to someone to see, like, if the spiritual side of things have to be part of this, right? I don't know what's going on. It's getting a little bit scary, but you know what? Something that we shouldn't forget is to continue my answer with like against your questions when it comes to loadout. So that'll be the Tommy gun, and I think the clip sight is great as well since they've got the buff where they added, like the scope. And the firing rate is still amazing. I still think it's incredibly OP, like still better than the buffed 45, I should say. So that would be my first one. And the secondary would be an M4. And my M4, I like going with the flash hider because it has some level of stabilizing effects like the compensator, but in the huge range sometimes you want to just peek out a little bit across 300 meters on this open landscape, this desert dunes, and you want to hide your flash, and I'm sure everyone who's played this game enough have like heard gunshots on that on the map and seen it on the mini map, but sometimes don't know where the players are until you see the flash. So that is why I love using the flash hider. Of course, you can argue that like you need an extra bullet would make so much difference in certain skirmishes, and I can see why a lot of pros would go for maybe the compensator. Personally, I would go for the flash hider. My choice for the grip would be the angle grip. I think it's the best overall when it comes to the recoil, especially the horizontal one, which is completely random. You can't really practice for that. Vertical you can always practice, so I didn't use the vertical grip. Like I think like my muscle memory when it comes to that is good enough. So angle grip, and then the rest would just be the best that you can get, right? So extended quick draw, then
of course,
then a fight, RV, finally, and you know what? I don't know how to feel about this. We've got high hopes on Walidos.
Yeah, I had high hopes on Walidos, but now with the car smoking and exploding, Walidos is pretty much out of the game. He's pretty much out of the qualifiers after quite an early finish in that moment. I believe he was trying to throw a smoke, trying to get himself some cover, but he could have tried to crawl away bit by bit, but unfortunately the pressure was too much. It was too quick, and that means that we are down to 6 players, 24 minutes into this game as the 4th zone is slowly closing in on the last few members of the 4th and final qualifier for South Korea. FB at the moment, or Bayrak right now, in quite a good position, I must say. You know, because the zone is going over Los Leones. He does have the high ground over all of it, so he's not going to be able to spot out everyone's movements, but he should have a decent view. And he will be able to, I guess, differentiate where the fighting is happening at some point. But we're looking at numero dos at the moment, number 2. He's currently forced to run into the zone. Not much distance between him and the zone. And now we can see that the zone's damage is starting to show itself bit by bit. So after this, I don't believe we're going to be seeing anyone playing on the outside of the zone unless they're playing for healing. But in a solos game, that's rarely going to happen. That's rarely going to be the case for us here.
Well, it seems like for the circle on the top right, it's small enough to predict that like both players who took these very nice, like very strong hills to the northeast and the eastern side of Los Leones need to get back into the city. So like without a car, that can be a bit tricky. Like you can even, like if you can't find the best way to escape from there, you can even receive 4 damage. But I think based on how UV played that, like I have some hopes in him winning this one. And to be fair, my heart actually aches a little bit, you know, for Walidos. Like for someone who has the perseverance to come back anyway, who has some decent plays but got, you know, outshined a little bit, you know, in the past weeks, and to come in with some decent plays in the first game, in this last game with the courage to enter, you know, one of the strongest positions. So he has that knowledge as well, but to just be down to those small things, like when RV would try to blow his car up, like, you know, when he smoked himself up trying to make distance, then the nade comes in, then the explosion. It's like my heart just aches a little bit to see someone who has been hardworking to not got his break so far. But you know what? That's just life.
That is life indeed. I mean, you're always going to get knocked down. It's just about getting back up. You just constantly have to keep up the grind. You're not always going to pass from the first, the second, or hell, even the third try sometimes. If this is where you start, if this is, I guess, your, let's say, your entrance to the esports world and esports competitions, then Like, this is only the beginning. You can only go up from here. You can practice. You can start grinding. You can start training. Yeah, at some point, you will get there. Esports wasn't built in a day either. It took years for us to actually get to this point. And when I say us, I talk about like just the world of esports in general. And I guess since we're talking about it now, Korea was one of the first. It was where esports was born with, I guess, with the first couple of games. You know, stuff
StarCraft?
like what was StarCraft? That was the one. StarCraft, Brood War, and stuff like that. That was literally the beginning of esports, I believe. You know, you had competitions else. Ooh, wait a minute, what happened?
Someone died from falling. That's man. Like, there's not a lot of places where you can do that on Miramar, like, because you don't get so much, like, you know, of these like skyscraper, I don't know, like high
Oh
buildings.
my god!
Someone died dropping down from these. I think the thought is the thought that counts, but man,
look at this guy's position. This guy, like, Futashi's angle is ridiculous on the rest of the zone. And if the zone shifts one more time in his favor, hell, even if it doesn't shift in his favor, he can chill out there for a little bit, wait for everyone to be in the open, and then maybe spray them down and steal not only the chicken dinner away, but also steal the last qualifying spot for the finals. This end is going to be quite spicy. I know it's only 4 players, but the positioning that Futashi has, I think it's quite unreal what he can, I guess, the area that he has exposed in front of him.
That is actually quite, like, crazy. I'd say the problem is, though, like, he needs to see if the circle is on his side. And, you know, sometimes people would be like, I like this spot so much that I'm just going to stay, although my escape path, being the staircase, may cause me to, like, take some blue zone damage. Like, I'd say that is going to be a hard 50-50 decision, like, to make. There's other options there still, but not quite as good. And what is that, the VSS in play that I heard? He almost stole a kill, like, with that as well. That is lovely. Please win it for me. Please, Futashi with the VSS. And it's the thought that counts, right? Let's see whether he.
You know what? Just for you, Tarzan. I'm rooting for him as well. And look at this, 666, or all the 6s. Hey, he's just waiting outside of the blue zone, and again, the zone shifting in the favor of Futashi, but not enough to give him the, I guess. I don't think it's in here. I don't think he can actually crawl into the zone, or he is in the zone right on the edge there. That is absolutely beautiful. And he's looking for that last player. He is looking for RV, but RV's behind him and he doesn't even know it. He's just scouting. He's just looking. He's just waiting. And finally, I think he might be able to spot him out. And Futashi's location is also known. RV's trying to get the kill. He's trying to nade him out. And Futashi didn't see anything. He doesn't know where the nade came from. And it's just too dang high for RV to be able to get it. There's no nade that he can throw that can secure the kill for him. It is just too difficult. And 35 seconds on the clock now, Tarzan, until we see that last fight. And now RV forced to throw a couple of smokes. But now Futashi, with the advantage that he has, finally he's able to see the smoke. Finally he's able to find out where that last player is, but RV with the Molotov not able to reach, and instead it actually cuts him off from being able to cross too close. Another nade. How many utilities does this guy have? But RV, he's exposed, and now there's an opportunity for the VSS. Are you kidding me? We were talking about the VSS. We were waiting for someone to show us how useful the VSS can be, and Futashi, in those last key moments of the game, he's able to show off exactly how good the VSS is. He was able to get into prime position. He had the high ground with the building. He had the silenced weapon as well to keep himself hidden from everyone else, and he just managed to come out on top at the end of it. And we'll find out soon enough if he actually accumulated enough points throughout the 2 games for today to be the 4th and final, I guess, representative and qualified player for the finals. But in the end, I'm very excited. I want to see, did he get it? Because, like, you know, last kill, VSS just for you, Tarzan. I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you.
I almost feel
Hey
like,
guys!
hey, how do you?
Hey
Look who's
guys!
back.
And I'm
From
back.
that
So
one.
guys, the last qualifying spot is secured by Futashi. This position has actually everything. So PUBG Mobile, you will agree with that. It is like combination with skill and luck, a bit of luck because of the zone.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah. I'm impressed. I'm very happy because this match started very slowly. We was actually seeing the fight between player number 86 and 58 for like an hours. Then they split, and I think this was this point when the match actually started. Yeah, I liked it so much. And it is a shame that we are leaving Korea right now, that this is last qualifications. Of course, we will see the players in the final actually together with the stars, so it will be more emotional than the qualifiers. But actually, you know, meeting these people, seeing these guys reaching the stars sometimes, you know, Sporta, I think this nickname is already written in SkillzVault. So yeah, I'll miss that. I will miss that.
I mean,
Okay,
it's been a good couple of weeks, honestly.
Yes.
But this only hypes us up more and more for the finals, because now we get to see, I guess, Sporta going up against everyone else who's qualified, and of course we got the stars present. So I'm very excited too.
And Tarzan, please tell me, has the Korea set the bar very high?
Not very high, but it's decently high. I mean, like with Sporter coming in and the way that he played, I'd say he set the bar pretty decently. Like there's definitely talent involved. Like, and I often match like who's on screen with some pro players that I work with. I think he's really shown some potential, and I wouldn't be surprised if he, you know, found the best way, you know, to maneuver himself through this particular tournament format and, you know, make it count. I think today was a little bit unexpected, like for me, in terms of how it went, especially for weapon choice and all that stuff as well. But I think South Korea and the viewers are up for a treat, right? We need to see, of course, how these other regions play, but you know, I'm happy so far.
Okay, and this is the first time when I can say to you guys, see you tomorrow, because we are starting qualifications for Japan. Japan enters the game, and tomorrow we will see. I actually cannot wait, because this is the first time when we can compare two different countries and we can see this skill, yeah? And we can say, okay, Korea is here, Japan is here, and I actually cannot wait. What about you, Sunstar?
Honestly, yeah, because that's something that we talked about at the beginning of the broadcast. You know, how strong is the Korean region compared to, like, let's say Japan, compared to Vietnam? But for me personally, the one I'm looking forward to the most is China. Like, just because, you know, when you look at the world of PUBG Mobile and the world of, I guess, international competitions for PUBG Mobile, China reigns supreme. They have the best players. They have the best teams. So now I want to see, are we going to be seeing some of the best individual players also compete with us in the tournament? Like, I know Korea has started off pretty well with representatives like, yeah, you know, we have Sporta, we got Jordan, we got Futashi right now going to be joining us as well. So it's looking pretty good. Now we head off to the second country. We head off to Japan to see who are going to be, I guess, their competitors maybe in the grand finals, and who are going to be their competitors in, you know, for the Japanese qualifiers as well. It's just now we're finally getting into more and more tournaments. We're getting into more and more countries, and it's just getting more and more hyped, I guess.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, guys. It is always a pleasure to see you and hear you during the game. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow. Thank you so much, guys. And tomorrow, what is tomorrow? Tomorrow we are starting the qualifications for Japan. And actually, like I said before, I cannot wait, because this is the time when we can compare these two countries. And all in all, About Korea, it was a great qualifications. It was a lot of fun, and I think we found the players who will surprise us with their skill more than once in the future, and I will actually wait for the finals. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, Korea. It was a pleasure to host the qualifications for you. Of course, we will see again in the finals, and you will keep your fingers crossed for Sporta, for Jordan, or for Futashi, who won today. Thank you so much. Have a nice evening, and see you tomorrow because Japan is entering the game. Bye.
For the first time, I saw you dancing. The room was filled with your grace and